Hello, hello. Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, let me see if I can get this to go up a little bit, see if we can get more of our page in the frame and avoid all the mess around it. Hey, I thought I would jump on. This is very random, but one, if you haven't heard, the fun borders are on sale all month for the month of March. Crazy. And how fast months go, you don't want to lose out. Now, some of these are while supplies last, like the scallops, for example. This one is being vaulted. And I thought I would jump back on. A lot of you guys were still kind of asking questions around the burst design that I did here. And this one, this layout that I showed previously, I had done with just an AB border. So this was, I believe, Paisley Place 3A, 3B. And so the borders work really great. But I thought for this one that I was finishing up that's on my table, that I kind of started in the last previous live, I would try the scallops in this section instead of like the wave look. And I haven't printed my pictures off or anything, and so I want to finish this layout, so I wanted to jump on really quickly while there's some daylight and before I jump into meetings all day and get lost in that, and just quickly do kind of a recap of this process. I broke it down just a little bit easier this time, so I'm really hoping this helps clear some questions that you might have. So for sake of demonstration, I went ahead and cut some of these elements out, and I'll share with you kind of what I had learned in this process. Now, this is, hold on, let me showcase this. Let me move my templates to the side. I am going to use probably placemat here. Won't that be so cute? I think it'll be so cute. Anyways, we'll get to that part. On the left side, this kind of shows you what that upper design looks like, really, because you're kind of creating a fun little mirage, like a collage of its own with this starburst effect, and it's really fun. And I had shared previously, it's a great way to kind of use up some scraps. It can get a little complicated when you start using scraps, like because of sizes and portions, and so you start having to, like, you know, engineer and adjust and things like that. So let's just say you had paper and you weren't, you know, doing some scrap usage like I was doing on this one, which maybe is why I made it more complicated than it needed to be. All right, so for sake of, we're going to start with how to cut a burst. All right, so the way you cut a burst is you take a strip of various sizes, and I'm gonna go over the sizes here in a moment. So this is, for example, a strip, just in white cardstock for demonstration purposes. And currently this strip is sitting at about 3 1/4 by 12 inches. And so to make one of these little bursts out of a variety of pattern papers and colors, you just basically cut from corner to corner. All right, so I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna cut from corner to corner, whoops, get my blade straight, and that's gonna create 2 of them, right? Now, I had done that for here and here, which I had previously shared, and I ended up cutting out the hearts, and I ended up just cutting out another one because I did want that to kind of, you know, mirror that, the same pattern, because you'll see how I had to flip that, right? So in order to do that, I had to flip it and bring it over here. So you might have to cut out 2 if you want that to coordinate. But for the most part, I guess I should share with you what size this strip was. That's the one I didn't mark yet. Okay, so I did a 5 inch. So how I was sharing with you, you take variety of sizes and you would mark that down. So this one right here, this base triangle is 5 by 12. And then again, you cut it in half. Okay, so that's how I got those. Actually, let me just go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna cut this piece in half. Let me bring this in frame so you guys can see. So again, corner to corner, and that's the basic little step process there. So you can see that there, okay? Here, we'll use this side as our little guinea pig. All right. Now this is the part that I wanted to share with you guys. So I'm going to take that apart. So I think the easy way to go about doing this is to cut a 6.5 strip in half, and then I would use like white cardstock, and then I would layer all my pieces on top. Again, it's really cute in scallops, I think, super fun. Or of course you can do it with the borders. To start off with though, you want to cut what happened to my, piece right here. A 2 by 6.5 is pretty much what I suggest after going through this again. And I start by adhering that strip. So for example, you would have like a strip here, right? And you adhere that to the base of the top of your triangle. And then you're gonna follow that down, that line down, right? And then you just start adding the layers on top. Now again, you could see I have like little scraps left. And so if you want to keep it simple, then just cover the whole triangle. Just cover it the whole triangle. You're going to go 6 inches, the 6.5 inches over, okay? I did 6 inches here, but I recommend 6.5. And the reason why after doing that, I thought it's probably just an easier way to look at it where, again, you start with the strip at the top. You're going to go from the corner and you're going to go down on a burst. Okay, you're going to follow that, how it decreases, right? Or increases in some width in that case. But on the 6.5, then these first 3 rows, you kind of want to keep similar length to that. You can see I said, it's probably just easier to say 6.5 because the second length was a little longer than my first one. So I suggest a 6.5, start there, keep those first few, and then at that point you can pick up where the triangle kind of leads off. And you can do the whole strip. This is going to be hidden. If you do a similar design, like it will be hidden like this. But if you don't want to tuck and adjust, then just know that that's a simple way to approach it. Once you have that piece covered, that easily becomes this base design. So you don't have to be trying to, again, adjust and maneuver and tuck. All right. Then we're going to place our other piece that we have here. So this piece is hidden. So this 6.5, this is what we're basically pulling some layers on top. We're going to start with a strip here, attach it to our triangle. And then if you want to, of course, do some layers, then what you're going to do is those first 3 layers, you're going to cut the same length of your 6.5 just to be safe, okay? Honestly, I think it's worth, even if you're like, 2 inches is like covered, what a waste. No, not really, because you saved yourself a lot of hassle and guesswork. So, and then I'm gonna give you the size of the other burst. So I adjusted between the small 1A, 1B, and so that kind of gives you that visual, right? So those would only be that long. And then from the rest on, as far as following that curve here, I just did, right, I just followed it to the length of the actual little burst triangle that we created here as our little placement. And then I just adhered them to this, as you can see, right? So I just adhere them. Then I'm going to adhere that whole thing down. So, it's going to be thick, but it's also going to feel very quality and sturdy. And I like that feeling sometimes in my pages. All right. So those are those few pieces, right? And then we're going to, and that's what it would be here. To start these bursts, okay? So what I recommend is taking another 2 inch by 6.5, and that's gonna be your inner spacing here. So to start off with, let me see if I can, there's my adhesive. I'm just gonna adhere all this down. So I'm gonna start by placing that down here on the inner side of my page. Okay. And then these other ones will all be layered, pointing into the inner corner. I did that on this one. If you want it to point somewhere else, you definitely can. So again, you can have really fun. I just thought I would do a quick clean take of an easy way you can approach the burst, okay? Now on these ones, again, if you keep it the 12-inch, then you don't have to be guessing length. And so that's the easiest way to approach it. I did not have 12-inch in all my scraps, and so I had to adjust a little bit. These ones, because they start from the furthest and come in, you will probably need at least, I mean, those were 12-inch pieces, and I'll probably trim off 1 inch. So you will hopefully have at least a piece of paper that is the 12-inch in length. Okay, so this one right here is 2 1/4, 2.25 inches. And then again, you're going to do similar fashion, right? You're going to cut it corner to corner. Now on these ones, I of course, when I did that, I have one for this side, one for this side. So this one I cut at 2.75, and that was that size. Sorry, squeaky chair. And then this one's 1.5, and then this one was 2 inches. So that kind of gives you an idea of this specific look. You could cut them all different lengths, and you could do multiple thin ones, you could do a few wider ones, but for the most part, that is all the measurements on this specific design, okay? And then yeah, what I would do is I would adhere my layers down. So you can see how I kind of adjusted this. On this one, I chose to do it like this. So it really doesn't matter if you want top, bottom, left, right. Well, top or bottom, no left, right on this. I'm just gonna probably mirror similar what I did here. So this one is actually gonna go on the top. So I just need to make sure to adhere that like so. And then this one, I'm not gonna adhere until the end. So I wanna put these on first because then this base one is gonna go across the top here. And then I'm gonna trim those off. And then I did choose to do a 1/2 inch strip. Where did I put my, oh there it is, the other 1/2 inch strip. And I did a little pop-up on this strip. And like I said, I'm gonna do the placemat down here, and then my photos will go across the edge here. So similar design like this one, just breaking it up a little bit clearer, because you could see this one, I really kind of evolved as I went along, and I loved how it turned out as far as, you know, what sizes the burst were. But, and you can do such, you can adjust those as you like. But for the sake of the biggest takeaways is starting with the corner, adding a little strip, and then building downwards from there. And then as far as if you want more to show, if you want them to be, you know, go across the page, if you want to do that, right? And that was fun. It just took some little bit of engineering for the most part, but I was kind of adjusting as I go. But this one, I wanted to actually share correct sizes. So hopefully it's helpful. Hopefully it gives a little bit more clarity and more precise directions as far as how to accomplish it yourself. And like I said, so what I'm going to do is I'd actually adhere this down. Again, I'm going to start with the corner here. And then align that up. And then I'm going to take my, and I already put this one down for the inside corner. So again, it's 2 by 6.5. I just suggest, you could probably get away with 6, but that half is just so in case any of your measurements are off by the slightest, you don't have to be tucking and guessing. So as much as we can alleviate some of that, I think it's worth the 1/2 inch in the paper. Okay. All right, and then this one, like I said, I did end up having that one tucked behind, so I'm not sure why I did that on the left, but I like it, so I'm gonna go with it. And you can see I'm not gonna leave the whole, we're gonna trim off even the excess at the top, right? And I actually did add a strip right at the top of my paper to make sure that it adheres right at the edge for sure. So there we go. And then I take my other one and I just mirrored the same exact side. So I'm just gonna add it straight here so that I make sure that I get the edge. And then I'm gonna place that on top. And then I'll take my next one and then do the same thing. Just need to make sure my corner is at least to the length of the 12 by 12. Okay. All right. So then I'm going to take this, flip it over, cut off that excess. So it's pretty much the same process we shared before. I just wanted to give a few measurements and then of course show how cute it can be fun with scallops. You can do it with the waves. And then of course I would clean that, give it that final finish touch with some inking around that edge and all of those spots. Same thing, I'm gonna just try to trim this off here. And then I will take my base piece and that's gonna hide all of that like so. And then of course I would add my strip as well. And I might have to trim that up a little bit more. It's just a little bit too long still on those points. Okay. And I still need to ink this strip. But for the most part, that's what it will end up looking like. So much fun. So again, a little quick tutorial and some sizes on those burst designs and maybe a simpler one that if those of you that are working to want to try to achieve it yourself and go from start to finish. Maybe on the next project that you're creating. I hope that it inspires you. It definitely is fun. I think the other takeaways besides, of course, again, reminder on the corner, that's really something to pay attention to. And then just an easy way to kind of maybe figure out the layers is by doing, again, a cut that's made for those layers. And then layering on top of that. And then of course, just layering everything else on top. And then this one too, I think it's just helpful. A simpler way to do it is again, the strip here, build on top of those. And then on the waves, I think I mentioned it before, but I do recommend, I think it still looks really nice with the 2 tones or 3 tones kind of in those layers. You could put busier patterns in here. Like I could have put the hearts and things in there, but I really feel the way to make this kind of just have like that simple, clean look is keeping your waves to kind of a blender effect, a balayage of your pattern. So whatever those papers or patterns that you're using, pick which ones are similar. So like I had decided, I had 3 patterns in this shade of this kind of mint green here, the green. And so that's what I thought to do with that. If I had multiple of the yellows, maybe I would have done it all shades of yellows. I of course did shades of blues here, super fun. And then I'm going to probably add, like I said, I'm going to finish up my page, do some cute layering here, add my photos. I had a few things that I had started to play around with that I thought would be just very simple little accent pieces to accommodate this look. And over the weekend I did able to finish another page. Yay! I'm so excited to color in my page that I was able to do this. And then of course I'm going to finish in more pages in the PJ Playdate for those of you that are club members coming up this month. So I'm super excited to pull out that kit. But same fact, I pulled in the Starburst and I was really fun. I didn't finish this page because I wanted to hold it. So this weekend I was able to finish this one and that was fun. Much needed little R&R at the end of a long Saturday. So I'm glad how it turned out. Sometimes you're never quite sure, right? But this was fun to use the bicycle from the club kit and then the whole balloon idea that Shiloh had in the last show and tell. I had to see it come to light. So this is kind of my take of that. If you are inspired, I would love to see your take of that as well. And overall, I hope you guys enjoy your Monday. It is a new week. The sun is shining here. It may not be shining everywhere, but hopefully you find a little bit of light and joy in your day. And then, of course, until next time, we'll see you guys in the community and keep playing to create, you guys. All right. You're welcome, Kathy. Thanks for joining me. And don't forget, Fun Borders on sale. If you don't have scallops yet, it is a fun one. So many fun little flares and vibe that it adds to your creations. Whether it's playful, elegant, again, change that paper, change the look. But that one, we only have a few left, and that's 30% off, and that one is being vaulted. So make sure to check them out. All right, guys. Wonderful. Talk to you later. Bye now.